history of Indian Patent Act. So this we'll see in two aspects. That is, one is the pre-independence aspect and the other will be post-independence aspects. So let's see pre-independence side. So in pre-independence aspect, the first legislation which came up with regard to this patents was in the year 1856. That is the Act 6 of 1856. So this was the first legislation. However, what happened was that when they passed this act, it was not with regard to the approval of the British Crown. So they had to repeal it at the same time itself. So then in the year 1859, the Act 15 of 1859 came up. So in this act, the only thing which was new was that they added one particular clause, that is exclusive privileges. That is exclusive privilege to sell or use the particular product in India. So they came up with this particular act. Then in the year 1872, they came up with the Patents and Designs Protection Act. So Patents and Designs Protection. So the British, they thought they will make both patents as well as designs come under a single act. So they made this act, that is Patents and Designs Protection Act, in the year 1872. After that, in the year 1883, they changed this act and named it as the Protection of Inventions Act. So they made it as Protection of Inventions because in this particular act they amended and came up with a particular aspect that to protect novelty of the invention, that is to protect the newness of the invention. So since it related to invention, they said Protection of Inventions Act. Then in the year 1888, they renamed this act as Inventions and Designs Act. Why did they rename it? So that they made some changes in this particular act to bring it in conformity with the UK laws. So since they made some changes to make it fall under the ambit of UK laws, they changed the name of this act as Inventions and Designs Act. Then in the year 1911, so this is what is very important to us because this act was called as the Indian Patents and Designs Act. This is a new act. So once this Indian Patents and Designs Act came up, it repealed all the previous acts. So once this act came up, all these acts were cut down. So what is new regarding this particular act is that from this act only, they made sure that patent administration, so the control of patents will be under the controller of patents. And then after that, this particular act was amended. So amended in the sense, they'll make some small changes in that particular act each time. So this particular Indian Patents and Designs Act was amended in the year 1920, in the 1930 and in the year 1945. So this particular act, that is the Indian Patents and Designs Act, is what laid the foundation for a current Indian patent law. Now we'll look into the post-independence period. So we all know we got independence in the year 1947. So after we got independence, there was a feeling by the Indian government that all the existing patent laws are not helping us. So they thought we'll just revise it or review it again. So in the year 1949, a committee was formed by Government of India under the chairmanship of Justice Dr. Bakshi Ted Chand. He was a retired judge of the Lahore High Court. So they formed this committee to review the patent laws that were already existing. So based on this committee's report, in the year 1950, the Patent Act, that is the 1911 Patent Act, that was amended. So then again in the year 1952, that amended act was once again it was amended because they included something called compulsory licensing in it. So again that 1911 Indian Patents Act, that was again amended. Then in the year 1957, the government formed an Iyengar committee. So the Iyengar committee was formed to revise the patent laws. They thought after they'll revise it again, not review it, we'll revise the entire patent law. See, because like I already said in the beginning, this laws, the initial law 1911 Patent Act, it was formed by the British people. So obviously they would have made it for British friendly aspect, right? So to change it fully and revise it fully, they formed the Iyengar Committee in the year 1957. Then in the year 1970, the Indian Patent Act 1970 was formed. Based on this Iyengar Committee's report, this Indian Patent Act 1970 came up in the year 1970. However, you should know that this act, it came into force only in the year 1972. Though they formed that act in the year 1970, for that act to come into force, it came into force in the year 1972. And you should keep this act in our mind important, because we are following this Indian Patent Act 1970 only. Because based on this Indian Patent Act 1970 and few amendments to it, that's what has happened to our current patent law, nothing else. So this is the main patent based act for us. So what happened after 1970? Why did we need to make changes in the particular patent law? That was because in the year 1995, World Trade Organization was formed. So once World Trade Organization was formed, India also became a member to it. So since India became a member to World Trade Organization, India by nature it had to become a member of the TRIPS agreement. So TRIPS agreement is trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. So we'll study about TRIPS agreement when I take conventions chapter separately. So just now understand that since India became a member to WTO, it directly became a member to the TRIPS agreement. So since it is a member of WTO and member of TRIPS agreement, India had to make changes to its intellectual property rights law, all the laws, so that it becomes in conformity with the TRIPS agreement. So according to the TRIPS agreement, we have to change or amend our patent laws and all the IP laws for that matter. So there was given a time period. So within 10 years, India had to make the necessary changes. So first in the year 1999, the Patents Amendments Act 1999 came up. So this was the first amendment. So government made few changes to our patent laws and the first amendment was there. Then in the year 2002, the Patents Amendments Act 2002 came up. So this was the second amendment, and this second amendment, there were many changes done in the second amendment, and this act came into force in the year 2003. Like I said, there were many changes to it. So it came into force in the year 2003. Then in the year 2005, the Patents Amendments Act 2005 came up. This was the third amendment, and by this time, our entire act was fully TRIPS compliant. That is, the 1970 Act fully became in accordance with the TRIPS agreement. So within 10 years, like they gave the time period, that is from 1995 to 2005, within that 10 years period, our act became fully TRIPS compliant. So this is what is the history of the Indian patent law. So right now you might be wondering what act we are following. So I'll repeat it once again. We are following only the 1970 Act, and that act has been amended many times. So that amended act is in the year 2005. So many new changes, amendment aspects will be done in the seeing this aspect, the Patents Amendments Act 2005. So like I said, amended means only few changes will be there. The entire act won't be changed. So only particular sections might have been removed or some changes in words have made. Nothing more change will be there. So the main act is Indian Patent Act 1970. So when you are referring, even in your barracks also, the act which will be there will be Indian Patent Act 1970. So I hope you guys are clear with the history of the Indian Patents Act.